And now, welcome to 7 Questions with Emmy.
Brought to you by Steel Lake Specialty, where expertise meets compassion.
Okay, are you ready to get started?
Sure. That's a really cool background, by the way. You're inspiring me. I almost want to have be in space or something. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, you should. It's really cool. Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Questions with Emmy. Today I'm chatting with Mikey Reid. He's an actor who has appeared on Victorious, Mamaboy, and other films and TV shows. Mikey, thanks so much for chatting with me and having me another really cool background.
Of course. I saw your awesome background and I knew I had to join in. Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you. Okay, are you ready to get started with the questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so how did you get your start in show business?
So originally I got my start because when I was a kid, about your age, but probably a little bit younger, my sister was doing it. And my sister is older than me, and she at the time had done a lot of commercials and had been acting for a very long time. And as a kid, I thought it was super cool that my big sister was doing this and that she was, really having fun being creative and getting to act and work on stuff. So for me, it was seeing her do it and then realizing that I wanted to do the same. And so I decided to start taking some classes and went from there.
That's cool. So when you started acting, how did you remember all of your lines?
That was a little tough at first, but I got a lot of practice doing it. And for me, everyone has a different strategy, I think, for how to remember their lines. For me, when I was first learning, I would just read the whole script over and over and over again out loud and practice it. And then when I felt like I was messing up a single particular line, I would go back and read that one to myself a lot. And now what I do is I read the first line over and over again and memorize it. And then I go and I read the first and the second line over and over again until I memorize it. And then I go the first, second, third line. And I do it until I learn kind of everything.
That's cool. That's a good strategy. Right now,
Yeah.
our local theater is doing School of Rock, and I got summer, so I need some good tips on how to get my lines memorized.
Yeah, no, that's great. Summer's such a cool role. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, if you could perform in a film or production with anyone, who would you choose? And it can be dead or alive or anything.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think I would choose Pedro Pascal right now. He's one of my favorite actors, and I've been watching him since he was on Game of Thrones a while ago, and I've always thought he's a really good actor, and a lot of the stuff that he's doing right now is super fun and super cool. He's doing, Star Wars stuff and video game stuff that's now TV shows. And of course was in Game of Thrones, one of my favorite, series ever. So yeah, I would love to work with someone like him.
That's cool. That's a good person to pick. So,
Thank you.
can you tell me about your most embarrassing moment, while filming or on stage?
Yeah, my most embarrassing moment while filming or on stage, probably it was again, I was pretty young. I was doing a play and I was maybe 10 or 11 and I missed my cue to come out on stage. And luckily, I was the only kid in the show, and the other characters were adults. And so, luckily, the other adults, they were all such professionals that they knew how to deal with if a mistake was happening live. And so, they just improvised for a couple of minutes. Not too many because it wasn't too long, but probably 2 minutes, which when you're, as you know, when you're live and you're performing, that could feel like forever.
Yeah.
And, so they spent a good probably 2, maybe 3 minutes just making up lines until someone found me backstage and was like, you have to go. And I was like, oh no, I don't even know what I was doing. I honestly, I was probably eating like M&Ms or something and wasn't paying attention to the cue. And yeah, so that was a little embarrassing. But like I said, everyone was such a pro that they totally covered for me.
Yeah, that's good. So, do you think that if you weren't in show business, what would you be doing with your life?
That's a really good question, particularly because this is what I love to do and have known for a very long time that this is what I love to do, particularly in comedy or, performing live or anything like that. But I think honestly, if I had to choose, I always had an interest also in journalism. So I think that what like you're doing is super cool. And was something that particularly, yeah, and like probably high school, I was really interested in, and I loved writing, and like learning new things and investigating things. So something like this, honestly, would be uh, pretty close to what I might be doing.
That's cool. Well, if you ever decide you want to do like a side gig as a reporter, we can do 7 questions with Emmy and Mikey. So,
Sure, that sounds great. Does
so
it become 14 questions, or is it still just the seven? Because now there's two of us.
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll keep the seven. That's
We
fine.
can do bonuses though.
Okay, great.
Yeah. What is one of like the most important lessons that you've learned as an actor, that would you say?
Really, and this is such a it's an answer you'll probably hear a lot, but it's just to work hard, like it really is to practice a lot, to take classes, to always be learning how to get better at what you're doing because you can always improve. And so for me, one of the most important lessons, yeah, was just always making sure that I was doing this, with everything I have. And I think that's a really kind of important thing to keep in mind always.
Yeah, that's really cool. And can you share a piece of advice with like me and our viewers?
Sure, absolutely. I would love to. Yeah, especially if you want to get into, this world. Like I said, it's a lot of hard work and focus on stuff. But yeah, making sure that you're staying positive. There's a lot of things where, it's a hard industry and sometimes you don't get a part and that, can hurt your feelings, but you just have to enjoy the fact that you're getting to do something so cool and that you're meeting other people who love this art the way that you do and just staying positive. Even if you don't get a certain part, that's okay. You're right for something else, maybe.
Yeah, you just got to keep trying.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I love your show. I saw a bunch of your clips. So yeah, really cool.
Thank you.
7 Questions with Emmy, brought to you by Steel Lake Specialty, where expertise meets compassion.